Hello and welcome to a special Strange Talk with Doc. We're going to do the greatest of all times list today. I'm not going to deal with a lot of what's really going on in the world. I just want to have a nice, fun show. But I am going to talk about a couple of things to start off, and I'm going to keep it really brief. And we're going to go into the top 10. We're going to talk about the best rappers, the best TV shows, the best snacks, the best sneakers, the best songs, the best movies, gangster movies, hood movies. We're gonna hit a bunch of different topics. I'm gonna keep it brief. I'm gonna keep it moving. But let's just start off. But we always have to think about COVID-19. And right now, there's 28 million cases of COVID-19 in the United States of America. 481,000 people have died in this country. Worldwide, 105 million people have COVID. 2.3 million people have died to this virus. So still be safe out there. Keep your social distance. You've heard all this stuff ad nauseum. You know what to do to be proper. You know what to do to keep your loved ones and yourself and your co-workers, your church members, frat brothers, whoever safe. Do the right thing. We lost Mary Wilson, one of the founding members of the Supreme. She died at the age of 76. Marty Schottenheimer. He also died this week at the age of 77. He was a legendary NFL coach. Therese Paylor, a Yahoo Senior Sports NFL writer. He died at the young age of 37. Larry Flint, that Hustler magazine dude who fought the government, he died at the age of 78. And Chick Corea, who won 23, yes, I said that right, 23 Grammy Awards, died at the age of 79. We got a UFC card tonight. It seems like on paper it's pretty good. Like I stated before, I've been very disappointed with the first four UFC cards, and hopefully this one will be a little better. We got Kamar Usman. He's going up against Gilbert Burns for the title. Alexandria Grasova is fighting Marcy Barber. I like Marcy Barber a lot. Kevin Gaslam is fighting Ian Halen. And Bobby Green, tattooed head Bobby Green, is fighting for like the 900th time since 2020 versus Jim Miller. Jim Miller is an old veteran, grizzled dude from Jersey. That should be a good fight. Diego Lima is also fighting Bial Muhammad. That should be a good fight. And Miranda Maverick is fighting Jillian Robinson. So the potential for this card to be good is very high. Like I said, at least on paper. So that gives you something to watch later today if you got nothing else going on. The weather is very bad and icy and rainy here. I don't know about where you are. It's probably freezing if you're in America, especially on the East Coast. The NBA. Tomorrow we got the Lakers versus the Nuggets, which is Sunday. The Bucks play OKC. Monday you got the 76ers versus the Jazz. Tuesday you got the Nuggets versus the Celtics. The Nets are playing the Suns, the much improved Suns. I guess Chris Paul got them heading in the right direction. Him and Cory Booker. Wednesday, you got the Jazz versus the Clippers. Thursday, you got the Nets and their big three against LeBron and the Lakers and AD. You also have the Raptors playing the Bucks. And Friday, you got the Jazz versus the Clippers. And those are what I would consider to be the premium NBA games for this week. So Aunt Jemima decides to change their name after going through this cancel culture thing, and they come up with this really ridiculous name, Pearl Mining Company. Pearl Mining Company either sounds like you're mining for pearls or you are a mining company of some sort. The last thing I'm thinking about is pancake mix and syrup when I hear the name Pearl Mining Company. But good luck to them. I watched Al Davis versus the NFL, ESPN's 30 for 30. It was a little bizarre because Al Davis and Pete Rozelle are both deceased, and they had kind of like stand ins for them. But the story itself was very good. I would say if you have not got a chance to see it, 30 for 30 is outstanding television, so give that a try. So J.J. Watts has been released mutually from the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are a mess as an NFL franchise. This Bill O'Brien destroyed the team. They should have never gave him the general manager and the head coaching job. Cannot wait for Deshaun Watson to get out of this situation and join J.J. Watt somewhere else, just free. And they seem to be trying to play hardball with this young man. I don't understand it. I don't like it. So Donald Trump is going to learn his fate in the second impeachment trial today. They're voting, the Senate is voting today in a special Saturday session. Now, my hope is I don't care about Trump being impeached per se. I just hope that they pull the cord on him ever being able to run for federal public office again. If they do that for us, that is enough. We've survived the 4 years. He's no longer in office. There's nothing that you could do to go back and erase the past. So impeachment is just some shit on paper. But to stop him from being able to hold office again, to muddle the waters and be nasty and vindictive and evil again in a public light, we need to stop that. They need to put a kibosh on that if they do nothing else. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day. I hope the ladies out there have a wonderful day. I hope you gentlemen treat them right, do what you need to do for them. But I also want you to not be corny. Tomorrow, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2021, is not the day to get engaged. Do it today, do it next week, do it one day during the month, next month, whenever. This is a corny day for you to cheat so that you can remember your engagement day. Millions of women get engaged over the course of century on Valentine's Day. You don't want her to be among the many. Make her feel special. Give her a day of her own. Put that shit on the calendar if you need to remember it. But don't just follow the masses. Don't be a lemon. Don't be a follower. Because they say it's the day of lovers does not mean that this is the day that you have to submit to the bullshit. Don't do it. So, as I promised you, I was going to keep it very brief on the subject matters and get into what we came to do, which is do these top lists of athletes, entertainers, etc. And I'm going to kick it off with the NFL's greatest players, in my opinion. This is my humble opinion. This is not gospel. You can argue with it. You can be totally in disagreement with it. I don't mind because this is mine. I left the window open for anybody who wanted to call in to debate or give me their opinion on these subject matters. And I've had this up on my website for at least a month. I actually reached out to some people who promised me that they would join in. As I see, nobody is called in, and that's fine. I can do this on my own. It's not a big deal. So, in no particular order, all these lists are going to be in no particular order, but I am going to get to them. The greatest NFL football players. Jerry Rice, by far the greatest wide receiver who has ever lived. Tom Brady, one of not the greatest quarterback who ever lived. Lawrence Taylor, by far the best linebacker who ever played the game of football. Tony Dorsett, and this is selfish because Tony Dorsett is my all-time favorite NFL player. I'm not making any list where he's omitted. If he's omitted, that list is bogus to me. Reggie White, Bruce Smith, Randy Moss, Walter Payton, one of the greatest defenders who ever lived at any time, at any place, Deion Sanders, and Mr. Emmitt Smith, also number 22 for my Dallas Cowboys. He rounds out the greatest NFL players of all time. Now, the NBA's greatest players, once again, no particular order. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan from my San Antonio Spurs, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. For you youngsters out there who don't really know who Larry Bird was, he was a total animal when he was balling. Boston Celtics were beast, and he was a part of that beast. Hakeem Olajuwon, Dennis Rodman, the greatest defender and rebounder that I've ever seen in my entire life. Steph Curry, just in case people think that I'm trying to leave off modern day athletes, that's not what this is about. Allen Iverson, an unstoppable 6 foot, maybe 6'1" guard who could do it all. And Shaquille O'Neal. Now, I'm sure somebody's sitting back right now going, how could you not have like people like Bill Russell or Jim Brown? The prerequisite to this whole entire list was I would have either had to seen it myself, seen you play myself, heard you for myself. No secondhand information, no just on videotape alone can I put you in any list. That would be a different list. This is the greatest I've ever seen in my life. Now, NBA, no, Major League Baseball's greatest players. Barry Bonds, Derek Jeter from my New York Yankees, Mariano Rivera, also the greatest closer and from my New York Yankees, Tony Gwynn, one of the best hitters that I've ever seen in my entire life, Pete Rose. Yeah, we see Pete Rose now, the band guy who gambled and stuff, but Pete Rose, when he was playing in the 70s and 80s, was one of the greatest baseball players you would have ever seen. Ricky Henderson, the stolen base king. Alex Rodriguez. I don't care about anything. If you look at A-Rod's numbers, they are outlandish. Ken Griffey Jr., Roger Clemens. Forget the Boston Roger Clemens. I am talking about the New York Yankee Roger Clemens and Albert Pujols. Now, my greatest wrestlers, and once again, I would have had to seen them wrestle, not just read about them in magazines or seen them on videotapes. Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, The Rock, maybe not for pure wrestling ability, but the total package of the talk, the look, and everything. The Rock. Think about it. He wouldn't be who he is today if it wasn't for coming through those doors at the WWE. The Undertaker. Dusty Rhodes. For a big fat man, he moved and he could talk. His charisma was unmatched. World champion, one of the greatest who ever did it. Eddie Guerrero. Just loved his work. Always enjoyed him. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Terry Funk. Terry Funk as an old man, as a young man, as a guy who used to be able to go an hour, hardcore. I mean, Terry Funk is wrestling. Bruno Sammartino. You can't be champion for 11 years and not be a great wrestler, even back in those days. And one of the first people who introduced me to wrestling, period, as a little kid, I used to watch the program called the IWA. It used to come on WOR New York at about 11:30 after a racetrack at Aqueduct. Mil Mascaras. I understand that Mil Mascaras has never sold an opponent's move, but that's not what this is about. So he makes my list. The greatest rappers of all time, once again, I'm going to keep repeating this in no particular order. Tupac Shakur, Eminem, Nas, Jay-Z, Andre 3000. Sorry about that. Busta Rhymes, Ghostface Killer, LL Cool J, Black Thought, KRS-One, Rakim, The Notorious B.I.G., Big Daddy Kane, Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. A female has got to be on this list, and I consider her to be the best of all the women. And Tech Nine. I am a huge fan of Tech Nine. I love the energy, the enthusiasm, the testosterone that he brings to songs. So he is always going to be in my greatest. Now, the greatest rap songs of all time is African Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force Planet Rock. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. The Message. Jimmy Spicer's The Adventure of Super Rhymes. Ghetto Boys, Minds Playing Tricks on Me. Pete Rock and CL Smooth. They reminisce over you. Run DMC, Peter Piper. 50 Cents in the Club. Tribe Called Quest and the Leaders of the New Scenario. LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out. Jay-Z, 99 Problems. Eminem, Lose Yourself. Eminem and Lil Wayne, No Love. Ghostface Killer with Mary J. Blige, All That I Got Is You. And Method Man with Mary, I'll Be There For You, You're All I Need to Get By. As far as I'm concerned, those are the greatest rap songs that have ever been made, and I love them all. Now, the greatest rap dance songs, shit to get the party started, get people off the seats, make sure that the club is banking, is Ludacris, Stand Up. The Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. 50 Cent in the Club. People celebrate their birthday to this song everywhere. DJ Snake featuring Little John, Turned Down for What? B.I.G. Hypnotize. Mystical, Shake Your Ass. Little John and the East Side Boys, Get Low. Sorry, ladies. CNC Music Factory, I'm Gonna Make You Sweat. Everybody dance. Uncle Luke, I Wanna Rock. Doodoo Brown. Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two. Joe Buttons, Pump It Up. Chuck Wright, Treat 'Em Right. Jungle Brothers, I'll House You. Houdini, 5 Minutes of Funk. Timberland and Magoo and Fat Man Scoop, Drop. The Black Eyed Peas again, Let's Get It Started. And House of Pain, Jump Around. Now these are what I consider, and I'm not the biggest aficionado of R&B music. I am just not a total expert, but I've listened to enough of it over my lifetime to state that these, as far as I'm concerned, are the best of the best. Nita Simone, Please Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. The Temptations, Wish It Would Rain. Bill Withers, Lean on Me. Etta James, At Last, played at weddings all the time, forever and ever. Heatwave, You Could Not End a Party in New York City in the 80s without playing Always and Forever. That was the last song of the night, the grind song. Luther Vandross, Here and Now. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. Tony Tone, Anniversary. I mean, that's the anniversary song. Al Green, Let's Stay Together. Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman. Aretha Franklin, Respect. Luther Vandross, A House Is Not a Home. And Stevie Wonder, She Knocks Me Off My Feet. Now, here are the greatest TV shows. Once again, in no particular order, people, but I'm just stating them. You got The Wire, Breaking Bad, Steinfeld, Oz, Saturday Night Live, Family Guy. Yeah, cartoon, Family Guy. Game of Thrones, outstanding program, man. I didn't get into it when it first came out, and I was so pissed off that I went back and I finally seen it, and I was like, man, I really was screwing myself by not getting into it because the very first episode captured me, and I stuck in there. Curb Your Enthusiasm. The Office, another program I never seen until it went into repeats. Matter of fact, I just seen it all in 2020 and watched all the seasons in a marathon. Loved it. Better Call Saul, fantastic. Law and Order and Law and Order SVU, both of them. The Chappelle Show, The Jeffersons, Fargo, Peaky Blinders, Boardwalk Empire, The Twilight Zone, The Sopranos, True Blood, Angels in America, which I love so much, I watch it at least once a year. Bulletproof, a UK series. Top Boy, also a UK series. ESPN's 30 for 30 as a whole. HBO America Undercover, documentary series. HBO, I mean, they had so many different programs. It was fantastic television. Now, here are the greatest gangster movies as far as I'm concerned, once again, in no particular order, people. The Godfather Part 2, which I enjoyed more than The Godfather 1 because Robert De Niro playing young Don Corleone was great. Scarface, City of God. If you've not seen City of God, you need to reevaluate your gangster film collection and see City of God. Pulp Fiction, Goodfellas, Reservoir Dogs, Road to Perdition, Casino, Mersan, Part 1 and Part 2. A fantastic film about a French bank robber who's also an escape artist. Legendary. You could just look up the guy if you want. It's Mersan, and it's a great movie. American Gangster, Denzel Washington. A Bronx Tale, Gangster's Paradise, Jerusalem. This was an African gangster film, fantastic. Shadas, a Jamaican gangster film, fantastic. And something that I've always considered to be one of the most classic gangster films of all time is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Now, here's the best sneakers in my opinion, and I've had a pair of every single one that's on this list. Adidas Stan Smiths, the Puma Clyde Suede, Air Jordan 11s, the Air Jordan 6 rings, the Nike Air Max 95s, the Nike Cortez, the Converse Pro Leather, Reebok Ed O-Fit. That's the Reeboks with the strap. Pictures will be attached if you see this on YouTube. The Feli F13s, also the ones with the straps. And Reeboks AIs, the question, not the answer, the question. Now, as far as I'm concerned, these are the best candies, cookies, and ice creams of all times. And we're going to have more movie lists, but I took a break in between to kind of break this up for you. The best candies, cookies, and ice cream. Now and laters. Chip Ahoy Chunkies. The Girl Scouts cookies, the shortbread, the Treflos, Jolly Ranchers, Charleston Chews, Blow Pop Lollipops, Raisinets, Boston Baked Beans, Mike and Ike's, Laffy Taffy, Razzles, the candy that became gum, Lifesavers, Good Humor Eclair bars. I don't care which flavor. It could be the chocolate, the strawberry. It did not make a difference. The Klondike ice cream bars. Any ice cream sandwich. I don't care if it's Walmart, Key Food, the local grocery store, or a name brand. An ice cream sandwich is the shit. It always will be. It is great. I don't care if it's Neapolitan, chocolate inside, vanilla inside, or strawberry. It is a great, great, great. One that people do not agree with me on at all, but I say the Suzy Q. The chocolate cake donut. I don't care where you get a chocolate cake donut from. Chocolate cake donuts are fantastic, but it has to be chocolate through and through. I didn't say a chocolate donut, I said a chocolate cake donut. Squirrel nut zippers, Mary Jane's, and peppermints. Old fashioned peppermints. I don't care if you get the peppermint cane or the little candy peppermint in the plastic that you could find almost anywhere. Peppermints are a standby, and who hasn't eaten them? And we've all enjoyed them, right? Now, the best chocolate bars are the Hershey Special Dark Chocolate, the Chunky Bar, M&M's with peanuts, Kit Kats, those school fundraiser chocolate candies, bars, Nestle's Crunch, Mr. Good Bar, Three Musketeers, the 100 grand used to be the $100,000 bar, now it's the 100 grand. Snickers, Milky Way, and Baby Ruth. Now, these are the best hood movies, once again, in no particular order. Lion Hain, the same young man who starred in Mersan, I believe his last name is Casal. He starred in this movie, Lion Hain. This is a hood movie in France. You might have to read subtitle, that's fine, but it's a fantastic movie. Look at anybody's list, and they're more than likely they're going to have this movie on their list, especially when it comes to gangster or hood movies. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, American Me, Blood In, Blood Out, New Jack City, Colors, South Central, Juice, Belly, Kings of New York, Set It Off, Into Deep with LL, Dead Presidents, New Jersey Drive, Baby Boy, Above the Rim, Blue Story, which is a UK film that came out, I believe, in 2019 or 2020, Sugar Hill, Fridays, you could say the Fridays franchise, if you will, Strapped, Brotherhood, UK, Ill Manners, also UK, Another, and I'm saying that, believe it right, Another Hood, UK, One Day, UK, Adulthood, also the UK, Bullet Boy, UK, Kid to Hood, UK, The Intent, Part 1, not Part 2. I did not like Part 2 at all. Part 1 was fantastic. Baby Mother, great movie. If you've never seen it, please do yourself a favor, get this movie. You'll enjoy it. Sh- Shadas, which should be on this list because I had that on gangster film, so I apologize for that. Dance Hall Queen, Fresh, if you want to take it back a little bit old school. Now, the best action films, once again, no particular order, but I'm just going to give them to you, right? The Lord of the Rings, the entire series, also The Hobbit. Let's put them all in one group together. The whole Lord of the Rings series with The Hobbit. The Terminators, the whole entire series. Hardball, John Woo. Into the Dragon, Bruce Lee. The Killer, also a John Woo film. Fantastic, just crazy action. The Raid Part 1 and The Raid Part 2, both great movies. The Elite Squad, I believe this was a Brazilian film, Part 1 and Part 2, The Elite Squad. The whole Matrix series. The entire Star Wars series. Anything in the Marvel Universe, not this WandaVision shit, but any of the movies that were made for Marvel are fantastic. I'm not going to say the same for DC, but I'm going to say Marvel was outrageous. Kill Bill Part 1 and Kill Bill Part 2, nonstop action. A Better Tomorrow, also John Woo again, great movie. Ichi the Killer, good, great movie for action. 300, you know what that's about. Assault on Precinct 13, the original version from the, say, 70s or early 80s, and the version that came out with Lawrence Fishburne. So I say both of them. The Dirty Dozen, Platoon, True Romance, Gladiator, Saving Private Ryan. You know the action in that is out crazy. Escape from New York, Braveheart, The Thing, that's a John Carpenter film. Payback, thank you, Ham, for this one. This is a Mel Gibson movie. Very, very entertaining, tons of action, and also Mel Gibson, the whole Mad Max series. As far as I'm concerned, I did not see the one with the young lady, uh, but I have seen all the ones with Mel Gibson. Now, the best movies of all time, once again, in no particular order: The Shawshank Redemption, Silence of the Lambs, It's a Wonderful Life, Rocky, and I mean just Rocky 1, Rear Window, Scrooge, A Christmas Carol. You pick the person playing Scrooge, it does not really make a difference. The story of Scrooge is just one of the greatest, and if done well, is so damn entertaining. So I'm just going to put that as a group. Gangs of New York. Take the money and run. I don't appreciate the person who Woody Allen is, but it's Take the Money and Run is one of the best comedies I've ever seen. I enjoy it so much. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Fantastic movie. History of the World Part 1, also a great movie. Forrest Gump, Full Metal Jacket, Man on Fire. Denzel Washington, thank you for this. To Kill a Mockingbird, Taxi Driver, The Apartment. Very good movie. Leon the Professional, Requiem for a Dream, A Clockwork Orange, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Freeway, which is one of the most underappreciated movies ever. A very young Bokeem Woodbine and a very young Reese Witherspoon actually, and Kiefer Sutherland are actually doing a version of, I would call it, Little Red Riding Hood in modern day. So the wolf is a serial killer instead of a wolf. Whiplash. I'm a drummer. I love movies about drums. Uh, this is a good movie. The Quiet Man, John Wayne. I haven't canceled The Quiet Man because it's such a good movie. It's played every year around St. Patrick's Day, so I'm sure all the Irish people will be watching The Quiet Man coming up. Falling Down. Uh, Kirk Douglas. No, Michael Douglas, as a dude who just can't take anymore, and he snaps one day. Matter of fact, the Foo Fighters used the premise in one of their songs. Rent, the only musical that you basically will find for me, because I don't really think I've seen many musicals in my life, but I have seen Rent and I love Rent. I think it's a fantastic film. I watch it at least maybe once a year. Pink Floyd, The Wall, a movie that I have seen over. I'm not going to be ashamed to say this here. I think I have seen The Wall over 300 times. At least 300 times. There was a time where I almost watched this movie every day for a solid year. Every night that I was home, The Wall was on. I got to the point where I could sync up the record with the movie and just sit down and watch. And The Wall, I actually had to stop watching it because at some point in time, I had almost built the wall around myself. The Wolf of Wall Street, Bright Lights, Big City, Michael J. Fox, Raising Arizona, a great film, funny film, entertaining film with action. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And Requiem for a Dream. Uh, Requiem for a Dream is a hard watch. It's not a feel good movie, but it is a great movie. People are in this movie. Jared Leto's in this movie. Marlon Wayans is in this movie. This is a Darren Aronofsky film. And if you know Darren Aronofsky, you know that he is going to hurt your head. He's going to kick you in the gut some way, shape, or form. So this is my list. I hope you enjoy my list. I wish that you could have been a part of me going through my list with me. I would have loved to have heard your opinion. But this is Strange Talk with Doc. And one thing that we're not going to do here anymore is we're not going to ever ask anything of you. If you listen, That's good enough to me. I'm not going to ask you to like. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to share. I'm not going to ask you to call in. If you feel compelled to do any of those things, I do have a website. The link to my website will be attached below. Anywhere that you listen, any app, YouTube, anywhere, that link is there. If you want to contact me and that's what you want to do, feel free to do so. The opportunity is there. But am I going to ask you to do that? No, I'm going to keep my pride intact. I'm no longer asking for anything from my audience. If you're just listening, you have more than done your job. And for that, I appreciate you. I thank you for that. I thank every time the stranger takes the time of their day and listen to anything that I have to say. So I do appreciate you. I will be back. The next show will be on. I tell you now, the next show is going to go back to its regular scheduled time, which is Monday at 8:30 on the 22nd of February. And I'm going to keep my Mondays. I did this show on a Saturday because I wanted to get it in before Monday. I wanted to get it in so I could tell you about the UFC card tonight. I also wanted to just give you my view on not getting engaged tomorrow. I wanted you to just have that bug in your ear. Maybe you do it tonight. Maybe you do it Monday. But don't be corny, man. Please don't be a corny clown and be just one of a million to give this woman this ring on Valentine. It happens too much. It's boring. It's corny. It shows a lack of originality. And I want you to be as original as you possibly can. I don't want you to listen to me. I want you to think about what I said. And if it makes sense, then do it. If it doesn't make sense, then say, you know what? F you, Doc. I'm doing my thing. This is how I got it planned, and this is what I'm going to go through. Be safe out there. Stay healthy. Wash those hands. If you're someplace where it's mandatory to be masked up, do not be a clown and get yourself in trouble. Don't embarrass your family or your friends by being called out on it. This way you can avoid conflict and things of that nature. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell you each and every time, people, I want you to be safe and peace to you and peace to yours.